Hi, it's your cycle buddy. Some of us experience thoughts of self harm that are invasive, involuntary, and repetitive. It feels like my brain gets addicted to the extreme experience of having these images of hurting myself. And the thing that surprised me about it when I started having them was that they aren't thoughts like when you have something that you have to do that keeps pounding at your brain. It's not just a perseverative idea that comes in again and again. It's actually like getting caught in a tractor beam. It draws you in and it keeps drawing you in. Or like if you've ever been swimming in the ocean and gotten stuck in an undertow that just sucks at you and you have to fight it and fight it. I think I am not alone in feeling like someday I may eventually and involuntarily die by my own hand, um, because the pressure to act on the thoughts can be so intense, really, really intense. So, what's the coping mechanism that is really, really powerful? The first one that I go to is dissolvable sublingual Zyprexa, and it's an antipsychotic that hits your brain fast. And for me, it makes me sleep. And then when I wake up, the thoughts don't force themselves on me anymore. That's the first coping mechanism. The second one is hard, takes energy to do, but is also very effective from a long term standpoint. And that is when the thoughts start occurring in your brain and you realize, like, they just happen, they just cut in horrible images or the same horrible image over and over and over. For me, it's images. For some people, it's probably just a concept or words. When you feel those, then you, instead of engaging with it with a second thought, like, how would I do it or where would I find that implement of pain? Instead of engaging it with a second thought, your second thought is something of gratitude. So, in a previous video, I shared a coping mechanism of writing an I love book where every page, or doing it in your journal, just one or two things a day, where you say, I love the way lighting a candle can make me feel peaceful. I love how my refrigerator looks when it's full of produce. Things like that. And then when you have these perseverative, that just means going around and around, or an invasive thoughts of being cruel to yourself, then you can counter that with gratitude, with thinking of something that you enjoy about life, which is hard to do. It's hard to break that by changing the whole direction of your thought, but it's also useful. A third um, coping mechanism is to insert Kermit the Frog as the victim in the image. And then so usually what happens with me is, typically, and it has been happening a ton lately, um, is images of blowing my head off and So the Kermit the Frog coping mechanism would be, because the image happens super fast, the action is done super fast, but would be substituting poor Kermit for the one who's getting his head blown off. And then it makes you kind of realize that it's just a thought. The tractor beam is a thought. It isn't who you are, and it doesn't control you. That's key. It doesn't control you. It's just a thought. And if you can put Kermit in there, then that's a good way of proving, like, dislocating yourself from the power of the tractor beam. I hope you don't go through this. This is a shitty thing to go through. I really feel for you from the bottom of my heart if you're with me in this boat. And if you have any great ideas that have worked for you, please stick them in the comments and I'll add them to my next video. Thanks. Good luck.